Idea City, the smartest people, the biggest ideas.
Lhasa de Sela is, well, a girl from Quebec, lives in Montreal, sings in Spanish, Mexican father, American mother, and every once in a while she likes to run away and work for a circus in France. Lhasa de Sela. Where is she? Lhasa?
Hi, is it working? I'm not used to that kind of microphone, so I asked for this one. I'm going to tell you a story that my father told me. And my father's a great storyteller, and he doesn't just tell stories that he heard, he tells stories about things that he thinks about for many, many, many years. And so what he told me was this. He said that when we're conceived, we appear inside of our mother's womb, and we're like a tiny, infinitely tiny little light that just appears in the middle of this dark space that feels like an infinite night, and there's just silence and darkness. And time doesn't exist there, and it feels like we're there for 1,000 years. But slowly, we're growing. And as we grow, little by little, we begin to feel sensations. And we begin to be able to kind of touch the walls of this place that we've found ourselves in. And slowly we begin to hear sounds and feel shocks and vibrations of things that come from outside and from the body of our mother, which is moving and walking and running, and she's speaking, and we can slowly begin to hear her voice. And we keep on growing and growing, and finally this place that we're in, that in the beginning felt infinitely big, becomes more and more uncomfortable. And soon we have to be born. And my father says that the moment of our birth, he says that he remembers the moment of his birth. And I believe him. He says that the moment of our birth is so violent and chaotic that all of us at that moment think, I'm dying. This is the end of my life. And then, what a big surprise. And we come out, and it's just the beginning. And in the beginning, we're very small, and the world looks infinitely big. And we slowly learn how to use our senses. We learn how to touch the contours and walls of our new home, and how to use our senses, how to use our eyes and ears and our taste and touch. But sometimes mixed in with all of the feelings and sensations and sounds of this life, sometimes we hear sounds and feel shocks that come from somewhere outside of this life. And that other outside is just on the other side of a very thin wall that's almost transparent. And sounds can cross through, and all through our lives we're hearing things without being. It's almost just like a memory, a reminder of something. And then finally this body becomes very uncomfortable too. and then we have to die. And then we think to ourselves again, oh, this is it. This is the end of me. But my father says it's just the moment when we go through the very thin, transparent wall. Something we've done before. And go and live something else. And he also says that in the same way in which when we're in our mother's womb, we're developing organs and all kinds of incredible, miraculous apparatuses that we have no use for in the place that we're in at that time. They're completely useless. They're for later. And my father says that in the same way during this life, we're also developing organs that we have no use for or little use for, and that feel kind of awkward to us. We don't really know what to do with them, but they're for later. So I'm going to sing you a song that is kind of what I imagined would happen later. And I'm not a pianist. I really I'm being courageous by daring to touch this beautiful piano. So if I make a mistake, it doesn't mean that something's going terribly wrong. It just means this song is called I'm Going In. Kind of shaky. Okay. When my lifetime had just ended and my death had just begun, I told you I'd never leave you, but I knew this day would come. Give me blood for my blood wedding. I am ready. I am ready to be born. I feel new, as if this body were the first I'd ever worn. I need straw for the straw of fire. I need hard earth for the plow. Don't ask me to reconsider. I am ready to go now. I'm going in. I'm going in. This is how it starts. I can see in so far, but afterwards we always forget who we are. I'm going in. you'll be making the arrangements. You'll be trying to set me free. Not a moment for the meeting. I'll be busy, busy as a bee. You'll be talking to me, but I just won't understand. I'll be falling by the wayside. You'll be holding out your hand. Don't you tempt me with don't you tempt me with perfection. I have other things to do. I didn't borrow this far in just to come right back to you. I'm going in. I'm going in. I have never been so ugly. I have never been so slow. These prison walls get closer now. The further in I go, I'm going in. I'm going in. I like to see you from a distance and just barely believe and think that even lost and blind, I still invented love. I'm going in. I'm going in. Going in. Okay. I'm going in. I'm going in. I'm going in.
Get the latest Idealist news, presenter information, and watch streaming video at www.ideacityonline.com.